Hi, welcome to Magpie Moonchild. My name is Kayleigh. This is a full moon in Aquarius reading during the full moon because it reached its peak a couple of hours ago here in the UK, and for Pisces. So it's full moon in Aquarius, but it's a reading for Pisces reflecting the energies of full moon in Aquarius. I know, in the middle of Leo season, but it's not. It's the sturgeon moon today, and your sign's the fish. Maybe this is something for you. Who knows? So yeah, anyway, I'll just, oh, it's the sun, so something's going well at the moment. Happiness, joy on its way, abundance. So this is general read, so it won't resonate with every Pisces out there. If it doesn't resonate, maybe try reading in another aspect of your chart. I will put a birth chart link down below. Roles can be reversed. There is no gender specifics. If I say he, she, they, it's to do with they, even, not thee. It's to do with the masculine and feminine energies. It's just our vocabulary hasn't caught up with spirit, so we just say masculine and feminine. We have both within us, but by no means when I say any specific gender is it gender specific. It can be quite gender fluid. Or neutral, gender neutral. What else? Responsibility. You are responsible for your own decisions in life, so do not ever give your free will up to a tarot reading. You can choose to follow advice, you can choose not to follow advice. As a result, the consequences of following those, the outcome of that decision is on you and you alone. What else? I think that's everything. If I've forgotten anything, it'll be in the blurb below. The deck used is the Modern Witches Tarot deck by Sterle. And I'm also going to be doing a oracle card pull from the Moonology oracle cards. I don't normally do oracle cards, but being the full moon, I decided Moonology was the way to go. As I said, it's going to be a 3-card spread. So the first card pull will be what's falling away and what you need to forgive, because full moons are all about releasing and forgiving what hasn't happened or has happened. The second card is what the new moon, what the full moon is illuminating and showing us for you in this current energy. And the third card is what is coming next between now and the new moon in Leo in 2 weeks' time. It may go beyond that. It's just it depends what comes through. Okay. What's falling away, and what does what does Pisces need to forgive? What's falling away for Pisces, and what do they need to forgive? 8 of Pentacles, hard work. What's falling away? The amount of work you need to do to earn money, possibly. You may have got a promotion, and work is falling away. Equally, a lack of responsibility could be falling away. You may be given more opportunities to perform up at work, more opportunities to collaborate. So what's fallen away is isolation. You've been putting the work in, and I think it's beginning to be recognized. So maybe what you need to forgive is the things that you put aside in order to do that hard work. To put that hard work in, there isn't a cost to that. You may have foregone seeing people going out. This person isn't wearing shoes, they're clearly working from home. Maybe what you need to let go of, what is falling away, is having to work in an office environment. A lot more home working coming in. I mean, given the current climate, a lot more home working. Maybe you've realised that working from home is actually working for you, and you can sell that to your boss without feeling guilty. There may be a compromise to that. It's not the full 10 where you stay home all the time. It could be that, you know, say 4 days of the week you work from home and 1 day of the week you go into the office, but there's going to be a lot more home working in your future by the look of it. So what's falling away is an office environment where you travel into the city. You leave home to travel into the city to go to work. That's probably not going to happen. It's probably going to be a lot more home working. I think you need to forgive yourself for being happy about that, or forgive yourself for the fact that you may not like that. whatever your feelings are, you don't have to feel guilty. They're feelings, they're natural and true, and you shouldn't apologize for having those feelings. You just forgive yourself. It's an adjustment, it's a big change that's come in, it's unprecedented. So there's no right or wrong way to deal with that change. We have to process our changes the best way we know how. And we forgive ourselves if it maybe wasn't the best way you dealt with it initially, but that doesn't mean that it was the wrong way. It's just the way you deal with it. It's like grief. There's no one, any change, trauma, good or bad, has an element of grief, because the path you thought you were following isn't there anymore, and you have to grieve that future that you sort of built your world around and all your mechanisms around isn't there anymore. So every change, good or bad, has an element of trauma and grief to deal with. So you need to forgive yourself for that. But yay to the creative work at home. You're quite lucky that your job can adapt. I know that makes you sound like you should be grateful, but you can adapt your role to work from home. Not everyone has the opportunity. Not everyone has their options. I think you're going to be offered the option of working from home and working in the office. 7 days, pick your day that you work in the office, possibly. Yeah, consider all the options carefully, because what seems great may not actually be as great as you think it is. There's always a catch to certain things. There's always a compromise, but yeah, you're going to see options of how you can make that work, and maybe even options of, oh, well, now I can do that from home. Maybe I can go freelance, or maybe I can. All these different paths paths of potential are opening up in you, and you're thinking, oh, maybe, oh, I could work from home 3 days a week and have 2 days in the office, or I could go, oh, that I can use the homeworking to fit around the kids when they go back to school. If kids are a part of that, you'll save on childcare. There are so many options and ways that you can adapt your working. I think that you just need to find the right fit for you. Okay, what is the full moon showing, Pisces? What is it bringing to the surface and showing us? Because the moon is all about, bringing our emotions to the surface. What's hidden becomes revealed by the moonlight, because the moon is obviously in command of the emotions. So and the subconscious. Page of Cups. Your subconscious is talking to you. What's coming to the surface is subconscious thoughts, going within and being reflective of what it is you want. Dealing with feelings you've never had to deal with before. So the fish in the cup is your unconscious, subconscious. Yeah, different anxieties are coming to the surface. You've never probably dealt with this level of anxiety before, wondering what's the right option for you. Okay, you are a badass being full of life, love and possibilities. May you find a path to your best self. And I think at the moment you're feeling a bit confused about what's the best way to do that. And that in itself is bringing a lot of stress. The change of what's going on is bringing a lot of stress and anxiety to you. And you're feeling overwhelmed. Naturally, right, I suffer with anxiety myself. And I know the overwhelm. And I know what it takes to fight through that. It's feeling overwhelmed and not knowing how to deal with these emotions when you've not dealt with them before. Like I said, the homeworking can be a change. It can either be a good change or it can be a bad change. And either way, whether it's bad and it goes against everything you want to do and you want to find a way to get back to how it was before as an option, or whether you find it as a good way to adapt to a new normal. Whether it's good or bad, there's an amount of trauma and an amount of anxiety that comes with it. And nobody's been in this position before. Nobody knows the right way to deal with it. Everybody's just doing the best they can. And you need to cut yourself a little bit of slack for that. equally, you need to acknowledge that it's becoming overwhelm, it's becoming anxiety, and maybe reach out and get some help, because I think at the moment you're trying to deal with it and quite naively almost like hiding it, because that's the unconscious coming up. It's subconsciously you think, I'll just deal with it. I just got to get through this bit. I just got to get through this bit. And you're almost like not dealing with it. And the fact that you keep pushing it down subconsciously, it's now coming to the surface, and it's now going, oh, it's this little fish out the cup going, hello, you kind of need to talk with me. You need to deal with me now. So I think, and the full moon deals with emotions, and the moon is your card. You are the moon in the tarot. So you kind of need to deal with those subconscious emotions, acknowledge your subconscious and what it's trying to tell you. Yeah, it's just burdened. You're just weighed down carrying the load of these changes have had an effect on you. It's almost like you don't want to acknowledge it, or you get that it's there. You just carry on regardless. You just keep plodding. You just keep pushing. You just keep going forward, and you're not sharing that. You're carrying the burdens alone. Like you're taking it upon yourself to not worry anybody else that you're not coping, because you don't want to laden anybody else with it, with worry or literally physical work to do, or because it's a time where we help each other out, but you're willing to help others and take their loads, but you're not willing to share yours. And you need to do that. You need to share. You need to share your emotions with someone that gets it, someone that will give you space. It could be a mother figure, a sister figure. It's just somebody that is appreciates feelings, gives you the space to talk. They don't judge. They give you space. They just give you space. Sometimes we just need to talk with no advice, with no judgment, just a safe space to talk, speak your truth. And just the act of talking it out alone, just getting it out, means that that fish can go out of there and back into the sea where he belongs. And just learning how to manage those emotions, to temper them. The Queen of Cups sits in the emotions, she acknowledges them, she processes them, and she moves on with them. She doesn't wallow in it. She dips her toe in it and dips out again. She doesn't wallow in emotion. She doesn't get overwhelmed. She knows where the balance is, but equally she nurtures others. She nurtures others and guides them because she's been through it, and she learns. She learns more by teaching what she's been through. She shares her story with you, so you know you're not alone, and you can work through it. You can work your way through it. There is a way out because she's managed it. She's strong. She's confident. She's tempered her emotions. She's balanced, calm. Like a mermaid, she swims through the waters but isn't overwhelmed by them. The waters are emotions. You need to find a person who can share it. Someone you know's been through it, who can at least signpost you to the right place, even if they can't help you. Or just share it with somebody, a close family member that you know isn't going to judge you. They give you safe space. Mental health isn't a thing that they go, oh, it's not a real thing. It's that very nurturing, encouraging space to explore your emotions. Okay, what comes next between now and the new moon in Leo for Pisces, please? What is coming next up for them? Can I have what's coming next for Pisces? What's next for Pisces? What's coming up next between the new now and the new moon? What's coming up for them? Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a battle with the anxiety, and it is the corona. Look at the masks on those. It's naturally got you on a bit of high alert. It's got everybody on high alert. I'm not saying in any way that diminishes your feelings, because your feelings are your experience and your reality, and justified if that's how you're feeling. It's going to leave you with the home working environment. I think because you haven't got anyone there, you worry that you're not in the office bouncing off each other. You're not in the office it's quite isolating, so you don't really know where you are on par, and I think you feel like you're competing with people to justify that, yes, I'm doing enough work at home, yes, I'm still meeting my targets. You always feel it's competitive, although if you look, no one's actually fighting. They've got them in the position, but no one's actually making contact with each other. You could be feeling creatively blocked right now, and maybe need to look at a way of working through that, getting your creativity back. But yeah, the virus is just literally, it's changed your whole world, and you're just battling with what that means for you. It's almost like you're competing with the anxiety to see who wins, but you win because you have an element of control within this environment, because you have choices. You have an option to negotiate and investigate different scenarios in ways that you can make it work. King of Cups. So you have the Queen of Cups and you have the King of Cups. This is somebody that is in command of their emotions. In command of their emotions enough to make decisions. Not always necessarily nurturing, but it can also signify a teacher of a technique for you to cope with it, to cope with the feelings that you've got. It can be a manager who will take into account how you're feeling. They won't take on helping you themselves. They will signpost you to somebody that can help. They will signpost you to a counsellor or similar, or whatever. It could equally be a hypnotherapist, because they're very good at, they don't get involved so much in dealing with the ins and outs of the emotions. They don't take that on themselves, but they do help you manage them, those feelings, because I think once the feelings calm down a little bit, you can channel your thoughts, and I think your creativity will then come back, because the Cups is also about creativity to an extent. If you haven't got the feelings, you haven't got the passion, and the passion is what drives the creativity. So once you balance your emotions, see this fish is just jumping for joy out the water. It's in its element. And the King of Cups is in his emotional element, as in he's in a happy, content place. Not happy, not overly happy. He's just in a nice, balanced, cool, calm state. So I think once you're being triggered right now for anxiety, and I think once you do that, you'll find your creativity comes back, and you'll be able to make these choices and go forward on a path which you are committed to, which you can commit to. You are willing to work through on, to follow that path. The Knight of Pentacles is that committed apprentice type of energy, you know, where they just, or the farmer, I call it the farmer. He works on the fields, he tends the fields, he waters the field, he's in it for the long game. Do you know what I mean? It's like they till the ground, they sow the seed, they water the plants, they build the scarecrows, they water them again, then they spray the fields with not slurry, what's the word I'm looking for? You know what I mean? They fertilize the fields, they tend the fields, they make sure it's nurtured, they get it until it gets to the harvest. This is the hard working. Once you're in a balanced place, you can get back to working hard and sticking at it. You are a committed worker, so please don't think that having a mental health crisis, not crisis, or it could be a crisis, you could have got to that point, but having a mental health problem to deal with, anxiety, depression, it's a weird world. Everybody's going through this, so a lot of people are going to be more understanding, and there are structures in place in a lot of places, a lot of workplaces, where they will signpost you to the relevant place that can support you and guide you and give you the help you need to find your way back to good mental health, balanced. Okay, this is a card pull from the Moonology card deck. As it's a full moon, I went for Moonology. It's an oracle deck. So what have we got for Pisces for this Aquarius full moon? Full moon in Aquarius. What card do we have? Oh, no, they're jumping, but I only want one. Can I have a card, please, for new moon in Aquarius for Pisces? There we go. You've got 3 come off. So nothing is yet set in stone. So you still have options for your working environment. The way it is at the moment, nothing is set in stone. It's the mutable moon. You have options. You have ways of making things happen. Your dreams need a practical plan. So like I said, you need to investigate options so that you can move forward comfortably, because I think a lot of the anxiety is also that nothing has as yet been decided. So as yet your dreams, so you need to perhaps get that nothing is yet set in stone, which is naturally going to cause this sea that's rough seas, because you probably feel like you can't get a footing, you feel a bit overwhelmed by the swollen seas of emotions. Your dreams need a practical plan. So investigate those options, see which is the way you want to go forward, what is going to work for you going forward. Speak to your boss about it. You may be able to adapt the home working to suit how you're feeling, what you feel works. If you feel you work better at home, maybe you can talk to them about doing that. And I think this is the most important message, because your anxiety seems to be coming from this defensive feeling like you're fending off the coronavirus. You and your loved ones are safe is what's coming through the new moon in Cancer card. You and your loved ones are safe. We all need to feel protected right now. You're doing everything you can. If you're worried about working from home not working necessarily for you from a work productivity point of view, it does work. If you are working from home, you are keeping your family safe by not exposing yourself to the workplace more than you have to. We're into a new realm, a new world where everything is so different, but this is an opportunity to try working in a different way, and it keeps you and your family a little bit safer because you're not exposed as much to the virus. But yeah, so it's worth appreciating that although it's not the best for you in a work style kind of way, you can adapt to that. And as I said, nothing's set in stone, so you can still make arrangements to make it work. But I think at the moment you're trying to balance between, I want to go back into work because I'm more productive in that office environment, but equally I want to keep my family safe. And I think for you, the priority is to keep your family safe. The world may change in 6 months' time and you may be able to go back to office working. We don't know what the world holds. In that sense, we don't know what this virus is going to do. Every country is different. Every country is having breakouts, outbreaks and flare-ups in certain areas. Even within my own country, they've shut down most of north of England, locked it back down. They're on about shutting the pubs so that the kids can go back to school in September, because that's the trade-off. The kids get an education rather than the adults drinking. I think that's a sensible trade-off, personally. But like I said, we all have our individual situations. Anxiety is naturally going to be a part of that. Please do not think that you are abnormal because you are struggling. It's a normal reaction, physical and mental reaction to stress, a stressor, and there's no bigger stressor in the world right now than coronavirus. So just dealing with that threat and then having to adapt how you work, how your life is currently set up, that's all naturally going to have trauma attached to it, and anxiety, and changes bring unsettling of emotions, and it's perfectly normal and fine for you to have those emotions. What's not fine is when you don't deal with them, witness them, process them. When you bury them down, that's when they rise to the top, and that's when overwhelm happens, and that's when things seem more than you can handle. That's when you need support. As soon as you feel like there's any sort of sense of overwhelm, that's when you need to get some support. Please do get that support, Pisces. Yeah, point of call. Just if there's no support system through work, please, there's always Samaritans. You don't have to get to the bleak edge before you contact them, or any sort of mental health support system that is in place at the moment. It's a huge stress for everybody, and nobody's been through this before, so nobody really knows the best way to deal with it. Nobody has the most effective coping mechanisms, and you need to give yourself a bit of slack. That the world isn't quite there yet with keeping up with. We're so busy surviving on the practicalities of it at the moment that we're only now really thinking about the effects on our mental health that it's having, and we need to make allowances for that. I hope that's been of help, Pisces. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you again soon. Bye for now.